Hello and welcome everyone to Travel Business Success Circle Live. I'm Carmen Perez, the Wellbeing Messenger. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to talk about winning more travel clients using a few growth strategies on this platform. And why are we talking about that? Well, because Facebook is the largest, right, by way of number of active users of any social media platform. And also they have one of the most powerful marketing systems that really allows us to target with an amazing amount of specificity. And of course, the better we are at targeting, the better we are at converting. That's why we love this platform. So as I shared, I'm Carmen Perez, the founder of Travel Business Success Circle and the creator of the 6-part how-to digital course, Travel Agent Marketing Success Made Easy. At Travel Business Success Circle, we share information and inspiration to help you build a highly profitable travel business your life loves while working with passion, purpose, and play, so you don't sacrifice your health, wealth, or happiness to achieve the radical success you desire. Again, welcome. Now, in case you're just joining us, we are talking about growing your email list and winning more travel clients on social media, including this platform, the good old FB, Facebook. So now, before we begin, I'd like to introduce to you my co-host for today and one of our travel agent experts, Stephanie Cannon of SC Travel Design. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here with me to talk about growth strategies. You know, I think this is where we need to be focused on growing. I know a lot of people are kind of pause on booking, but that doesn't mean pause on growth, preparing, positioning your business in order to take advantage of everything opening up with it. What does? So again, thank you so much. So maybe even you're wondering why I reached out to you when I did, but I reached out to Stephanie to join me for this session so she could share with us about how she was winning more travel clients using her list builder, a quiz that she created for honeymooners or people we were anticipating would be going on a honeymoon. And what was really great about what Stephanie did was that she didn't just create it and hope they would come, right? She created a strategy that was utilizing Facebook ads because, as we all know, just because we build it doesn't mean the travelers will come, right? So it is one thing to create a quiz as a lead magnet, but entirely another to actually win more travel clients, right? That's an entirely different conversation. And if you set up a quiz, you know, as a marketing vehicle for yourself and it didn't work for you, no, that's what I'm talking about. It happens, right? So we're going to talk about how we can make sure that doesn't happen. And this is what made the difference for Stephanie. She didn't build it and hope they will come. She really does go for it and stays committed to the strategy, right? Fully executes what is necessary. She doesn't get distracted with what's next, and it really paid off for her. So I really thought it would be great for her to share with you how she achieved this focus on that strategy and how it worked for her. Okay, so I know after this conversation, you will agree too. So again, thank you so much for making the time to be here, Stephanie, and for those who are joining us. So Stephanie, could you share with us a bit more about yourself and your travel business? Like, who do you work with and who do you enjoy working with most?
Yes, well, as Carmen said, I'm Stephanie Cannon with SC Travel Design, and my focus is mostly on luxury FIT clients and those who just want to celebrate. So they can celebrate anything. It doesn't have to be a special occasion. You know, the quiz that I developed is geared towards honeymoon clients, but my clients are also people celebrating milestone birthdays, anniversaries, retirements, maybe graduation, and even just celebrating life in general. There's so many things to celebrate. And as I was going through and kind of preparing for this, I went back and like reread my kind of like my statement, or it's not really my tagline, but what I stand for. And it's clear on my website, celebrating life's major moments with life-changing travel. Well, when I picked that back in 2018, like who would have known then what it would really mean now, 2 years later, to really celebrate and celebrate big.
Yeah.
So most of my clients are on the premium to luxury side, and trying to find the ideal clients and not just every single person out there was a little bit difficult. So I tried to incorporate that into my quiz, knowing the specific types of clients I was looking for and not just everyone who's going on a honeymoon.
Wonderful. Thank you. I love that you mentioned it, right? So your mission statement, how well it plays in today's market, given the current status of COVID, and where are you on selling travel at this time, and how are you dealing with it? I just think, again, we're all in different places and we're all handling it best as we can. And what's kind of your methodology right now?
Yeah, so I'm taking probably a different approach than some of the others, since I do sell more luxury FITs, and the destinations are mostly Europe, South Pacific, and of course we know we can't travel to those destinations right now. Well, Tahiti is open with restrictions. So most of my clients that I had booked for 2020 either got canceled or are postponing. I still have a couple hanging in, traveling later this year. So we'll see what happens with those. But I'm kind of taking a pause from booking any travel for 2020 unless it's a rebook from, someone who was already booked and had to postpone and only has a certain time limit that they need to travel by. So other than that, I'm just kind of standing back, rethinking things, going over my own marketing plan, creating some new items, possibly a new quiz coming out. You never know. So just preparing for 21 and even 2022.
I think that's a really smart strategy. I know we've been talking about it. Go for growth at this time. If you're uncomfortable and that's an option. Definitely do step back. So I know how much you love to travel. Something, a little known fact about Stephanie and I, we met just a few years ago, but we are birthday buddies, literally not just day, but year as well. And so would you tell us one of your first visits to a destination that really surprised you, and share what were you expecting, but what did you experience that really made you fall in love?
It's really hard to pick one because pretty much every destination I travel to, I fall in love with for some reason. They're all different reasons. But I think the one that probably touched me the most was Fiji. I've never been to a place that really literally reaches inside to your heart and your soul and drags it out of you while you're there. So that definitely has had a lasting impact. And the people, the connections, arriving, and the people you meet welcome you like they've known you for years. You've been, lifelong best friends or part of their family. And there's not a lot of destinations that are that warm and friendly, at least not as much as the Fijians are. So I think that's probably the one for me.
Yeah, I love that. It's so funny. I haven't been, but I keep hearing this about Fiji. I mean, when I do research, so many people, they want information on this area as well. They're starving for it. So clearly there's something about that destination that transcends, because everybody wants to go there. I mean, by millions. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I can't wait till I get there. So thank you for sharing that with us. Now, for those of you who are live with us today, thank you so much for joining us here and for creating the space to join us. I know it's not easy. Please know I'm always going to make this the best investment of your time by sharing how to win more travel clients, attract more abundance, or create a successful travel business your life loves. And I hope you already see why I invited Stephanie to join me here today and share a bit more about what she's doing to build her travel agency. So I know Stephanie and I are the only ones who can see and hear each other, but please do join in on our conversation. You can do that by giving us a like, by clicking the thumb up bottom, but thumb up button at the bottom, and we want to go ahead, or you could press a heart if you like something that we say, and go ahead. Also, if you have any comments or questions, to leave them in the feed, whether you're live or watching a replay. Know that we are here to be of service, so please put all of it in the feed and we will take a look at it. I'll do my best, okay? Thumbs up, I promise. All right, so let's talk to Stephanie a little bit about her strategy. Stephanie, first, let's start with your overall strategy and how it works. So overall, it was a quiz that you created. Mm-hmm. And you take over the rest.
So it really started when I rebranded, I guess it was early to middle of 2018. And I was kind of not completely stepping away from romance travel because I still love working with honeymooners, but more stepping away from the larger destination weddings and moving more towards luxury, premium to luxury travel. So in moving away from some of the larger parts of the romance travel market, I made a bold decision to not participate in any more bridal shows. And that was a huge lead generation for me. I would do at least 3 large ones and a couple smaller each year. So I needed a way to still be able to reach that market without being in the building face to face. And Facebook and Instagram are the perfect way because that's where they hang out, digitally. Yeah. So I paired that with a quiz. Like, who doesn't like to take these quizzes that pop
Especially
up
on Facebook?
I know. I mean, I take them myself, and some of them are just for fun, but I wanted mine to be different in that it wasn't having everybody complete the quiz because I was looking for qualified leads. So the way I designed it, there's not a ton of questions. There's 8 total. So, we wanted to kind of keep it short, but not too short, but still ask the critical questions that would let the person taking the quiz know what type of vacation that a luxury vacation or honeymoon would be. So trying to figure that out and getting the right people through the funnel into my lead system was the overall strategy in replacing bridal shows.
Love it. Love it. So now, full transparency, like Stephanie said, because of COVID, everything's kind of on like no booking, which means we've turned off this ad, okay, just because it's not time. Before we turned it off, right? So how did it do at replacing that qualified lead for you that you would get from the bridal shows?
Yeah, I went back and looked at my stats. So you have to remember, the first time I started running this ad was at the very end of December of 2019. So it wasn't out there very long, basically before, we got hit with COVID. But in that 1 month, basically the 1 month time period, for the quiz itself, it had almost 100 views, but then 3/4 or more of those people actually started the quiz, which is good.
Yep, 75%.
Right. And then about a third or a little more than the third of those actually completed it, which meant they went all the way through and gave me their name and email address.
Okay, so just over a third. So we'll say 34% actually ended. Beautiful. Wow. I don't know if people know like what the average opt-in rate for these things in, but it's in the single digits, okay? Yeah. Very low. I mean, we're talking like 4 to 5%. Well, 3 to 5% is on average what a landing page does. In Facebook world, if your landing page does about 2%, that's amazing. So Stephanie was able to have 34% of her audience complete this. That's amazing. That blows out of the water, like what most marketers, professional marketers, can do with their ads on Facebook to get a conversion. So well done. Congratulations. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because it's not that easy to get these kinds of results. I applaud you because you did it all on your own. You put your ad and your quiz together and set it up and really strategized and moved it through all the way to completion. And look how successful it was with what you learned, right? All the information that you've had in your head, and you applied it. I love that. So 34%. Beautiful. And so of that 34%, so let's just, how many reached out to you for a consultation, would you say? And how long did that take? Now, I know we're working with brides, and so usually, you know, we're talking 3 months, it could be a year out. So what was that like for you?
Yeah. So, you know, knowing that basically the leads started coming in January and February. So I ended up, of those, having 7 consults, which I think was really high. And then 5 of them went ahead and paid my fee, and we moved forward. And then we only got to the booking stage with a couple. And then the other ones are still kind of hanging out there, but it's okay. You know, they're still on my client list. I've still got them pending for whenever this opens back up to reach back out to them and continue planning their honeymoon.
And do you think, I already know the answer to this, but will you use this moving forward once things get, and you feel comfortable to promote travel?
Absolutely. Because I did rerun the ad for a couple weeks, mid-May, mid-April.
Okay.
And I pushed it out to a larger audience, and it was more testing my Facebook ads targeting than anything. Because the initial one was more me posting on my Facebook page and then qualifying to a local audience, because I was trying to reach the brides who were going to the local bridal shows. But in May, when I did it, I used a broader audience, but still qualified for those that are engaged, you know, picking all the things behind the scenes that would help me to target the luxury honeymooners more than anything. And in that 2-week period, I mean, I still had almost 200 views, 87 started it, 40 leads out of it. And then 2 of them out of that actually scheduled consultations in the middle of COVID. So
surprised. I mean, remember, we're all like 50-50 on this, so I'm not surprised at all. And I know there's fellow agents in the mastermind who are actively promoting and they're getting business, so I'm not surprised at all. And that one, and that was just starting for a little while, and that was already giving you a 20% conversion, right? Because 200, you have 40 in the end. That's amazing. You know, guys, let's give her some thumbs up and love for that. I mean, well done, honestly. I just think that's amazing. I don't want to, you know, undervalue that power, you know, and you were just experiencing the beginning of it. I can't wait until this is running for 3 months, right before engagement season. It's amazing. Congratulations. I think this is a big winner for you. Okay. So tell me, how long did it take you to build all this?
So actually, when I really set my mind to it, I literally put this together, I want to say within maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
In December.
Okay. So
like in early December, because I knew I was up against a deadline, and it was more me setting the deadline, but the bridal shows were starting in January.
Right. So, engagement season.
And I wanted to have this. Now, in those 2 weeks, it was not just the quiz. It was also my follow-up email series. So this is the first funnel that I've ever created that's automated from start to finish.
One thing I want, you know, especially our viewers to understand is that it wasn't just that you set up a Facebook ad going anywhere. You know, you knew the end goal, So start on this page. You're going to go through this series and you're going to call me by this time. You get through the series and it worked well. Mm-hmm. And that's important. You know, it wasn't that the Facebook ad worked or the quiz was the thing. You know, it's creating that funnel and it works all together. If you remove any one of these elements, perhaps it wouldn't have performed as well.
Right.
Agree with that? See, yeah, thank you. Because I think that's important to understand, because I hear people all the time, oh, I set up a Facebook ad and you know, and it's just like going to my website. I'm like, well, what were you offering? You know, and these finer points, right? And really understanding how to promote your business in a way that is going to help you win more clients. This is key. Understanding that it was the entire system together that really worked well for Stephanie. It wasn't just the ad or just the quiz. All just beautiful. I love that. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So, all right. The last question I have for you, we are going to go into 3 more strategies that I'm going to share with you the details on. Definitely do join the conversation here. So the last thing I want to ask you, because I think this is something else I don't want to underestimate, is that you stuck with your idea. You didn't abandon it. You understood the components that you had to lay out. So how did you do that? How did you stay focused to see your plan through? Because I know that's a big thing for people, travel agents. They're so busy traveling. You attend this webinar, attend that destination webinar, at the top of trying to get training. And it's just like, how did you stay focused?
Yes, that is distracting, isn't it? All those. So I've done so many supplier trainings, destination trainings, and I made it a priority for me to focus more on business training, which included the specifics on marketing, online marketing, copywriting, like all of the client attraction side of it, because we all know this, but most people tend to go towards the quick, easy little 30-minute webinars they can sit through and multitask while they're doing it. And those are definitely, a great thing to listen to. But if you don't know how to attract your ideal client or even who your ideal client is, then you can't get them out the other end of your funnel and put the money into your business bank account. So I knew that was like a sticking point for me. So I made it a point to really dive into those areas. The quiz part was actually fun for me. My mind works more like an engineering type mind. I like to build and take apart and rebuild. So it came very easy for me to make my quiz with the outcomes that fit what I want to sell, but also attract the people who want to go to those places, not just every destination around the world for a honeymoon. I mean, that's not what I want to bring in. So I had to design my quiz. And the easiest way to do it is start with the end in mind. So like, what are the outcomes you want? The results that you're going to give your clients who are coming through the quiz. And then you build it backwards. And then I took since I've done bridal shows for so many years, I had several different follow-up series, and I literally copied them into Word, printed out every email I had, highlighted what I wanted to include in my new series, and then kind of arranged the papers out, and then copied them, went back to the computer and copied them into my autoresponder, and then kind of laid it out in a flowchart method.
Smart. I mean, to help you envision it, right? Because it's always pieces. And I know that's the intimidating factor. I'm very proud. We have some members in our mastermind who are like, I think Lois is 72, just put up her first, opt-in page and things like that. And these are the barriers, right? Is really understanding, what do I have to do? Know the pieces. Because when you don't know the pieces, you're just working. You don't know what you're doing, but nothing's moving ahead and you have this great quiz, but nobody's opting in. And you're like, what happened? I have all this marketing stuff, but it's the actual, you created it, but it's the actual marketing of it, which is critical. So, all right, I'm gonna let you off the hook because I've been asking you all these questions. But of course, these are questions I think are really important for travel agents to understand, especially if you are working on your marketing, just so you understand how long things take. I think they hear landing page, thank you page, lead magnet. They're like, I could get that done in 1 or 2 days. You have to really do it well, right? In a way that really works for the people that you want to speak to, speaks to the things that you want to sell. That's important here because you don't want to just sell anything and make this quiz fun. You really are qualifying people, travel leads, as they go through the process. So when they come to you, they're ready to go. At that point, it's your deal to make or break, which is how we like it. You know, we like it that way. It's better for you to turn down the business because it wasn't right for you than you feel compelled to have to sell something, you know, that you don't necessarily want to. And by using the quiz and preparing it so that they end up in places that you want to sell, that are going to go for the price points that you want to be in, that's critical. Yeah. We have a question from Michelle, and she's asking, what autoresponder system do you use, Stephanie?
I use Active Campaign.
Okay. Stephanie is using Active Campaign as her autoresponder, and it allows you to filter and create rules to put people through your funnels. Wonderful, wonderful. That's all the kind of functionality you want to make sure your autoresponder has, that you can move people from one list to another automatically, of course, including tags. Bringing on tags, removing tags as people move forward so that you understand where they are. I know it can get very, very in-depth, so I don't want to confuse people here. We don't need to worry about that right now. I don't want to make this advanced marketing. We're just regular keeping it for everyone, right? Marketing. So thank you. I promise to share 3 list building strategies that you can use. The first strategy is a lead magnet direct offer strategy. Okay, so if you're here with us and completely boggled, like, I don't want to do an opt-in page right now, it's the last thing I want to learn how to do, I don't want to worry about that, this is a good strategy for you because you don't have to have an opt-in for this. If you do, great, you can use it, but if you don't, it's all good. So all that you're going to do is you invite your group or your fans to reach out to you with their email address for the lead magnet. Okay, so what this looks like is you create a post, all right? And so I actually did this with a client. We did a home spa recipes, and we didn't have a full lead magnet page. It was just a little book with 3 recipes, and we didn't have a landing page. So what we did is on our Facebook page, we shared posts that offered, if you like this, we just shared an image and talked a little bit about something. So if you like this, drop your email address in the comments and we'll email it to you. And then when we emailed it out, we said, is it okay to add you to our email list? Every single person said yes, that asked for this. So that wasn't a problem. And then you just pop it in. You don't need to have a opt-in page. And if you don't have a lead magnet yet, that's okay too. Share something interesting and say, do you want to be among the first whatever to sign up for my newsletter? Drop your name and email address. This is the kind of information I'm going to share. All right. So you can get creative. Okay. And so that's one way you can list build on Facebook without having to worry about having opt-in pages and thank you pages set up. So here's another one you don't need to have an opt-in page for, and it's your like strategy. Okay, so the Facebook like strategy is really simple, and I do it all the time from my phone. So as people like your posts, this is especially nice and it works really well when you have a post that's popular even with your fans on Facebook, but they will share it. And when they share it, other people will like it. Well, you can go in there and invite anybody who has liked or engaged with that post to like your page if they haven't. And Facebook will let you know. If it doesn't say liked, they don't like your page, and it will say invite. You just click it, invite, 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 invite. That I receive about a 25% yes, like they go ahead and like my page. And then in addition, when they do that, especially when they have liked my page based on an invitation that I sent them, I will send them a message asking them if they would like my newsletter. That simple. And it's when I have time. I don't do it all the time. It's when I have time and I want to do it. That's why I'm in Facebook to promote, and I'll run small ideas like that through that I can just do while I'm engaging with people, especially if you're engaging in other people's groups. Okay, that's really important, because every administrator who has a group, they're doing something with their group, including monetizing it as well. And they don't like it when people come in and try to pitch and be of service that way. And this is a very passive way of offering to be of service without being offensive. And by the way, if you do have something that you think that group could use, that you could be of service with, like let's say you belong to a really big wine group on Facebook, you can always reach out to that administrator and ask them if they would like to do a group cruise with the followers from that group. You know, think about these things. If you want to work with them, don't be afraid to reach out to the administrators. Most of these people are entrepreneurs and small business owners like yourselves, okay? So that's the second strategy. Now, then we have a third one. Now, if you guys have any questions, just reach out and ask them, okay? The third strategy is the rapid list building strategy. Now, this helps you build your brand and your list at the same time, okay? But it is a lot of work. And of course, like Stephanie just said, how she started her campaign, you need to know what your goal is for this. Do you just want to grow your list? Are you seeking to grow your list in a certain category because you want to offer a group trip or a special supplier with a destination in mind? You want to know that. That's important as you set all this up. But then once you have that, you want to create the most beautiful lead magnet you can imagine for whatever it is you're going to promote. And then what you're going to do, and you're going to do this every day, you're going to create 2 posts for your Facebook page. The first post is going to be an image post. We're going to say something that's going to share the link to the opt-in page for this lead magnet, okay? Now, that's the first post. And then the second post is going to be an actual link share where you put the link into the post. And so Facebook will automatically populate the preview image for you and then say something interesting about that blog that you want them to go and look at, right? And of course, at the end of that blog, we want to have the opt-in for them to get the same lead magnet that you have in mind, right? Okay, so all of this stuff is tying in. And so what you do is every day for 7 days, you post an image and a different link, an image and a different link, an image and a different link. And then after a week, you look and see which one did the best organically, okay, organically. And then the one that did the best is the one, if you're running ads, you put money on, okay? Now, when I say put money on, I mean run an ad, and the ad cost we're talking is $1 to $2 a day for 10 days. So it could cost you $10 to $20 to run this strategy if you choose. But what I will tell you is I built my business without ads with that exact strategy, because the 2 posts drove traffic back to my landing pages on my website. That was enough back then. Today we can do things a little differently, and if I had the ad budget then, I would have done it. But in my head, I thought it would take me thousands of dollars to get results with ads. And you know, you can really achieve a lot in growing your brand and getting your business in front of active travelers or people seeking travel for very little money on Facebook. And what I would have paid to have this tool 10 years ago when I was doing retreats and getting in front of those people, that would have been an amazing, amazing help. So the fact that we can tap into that today in such an easy way really does help you make Facebook really one of the platforms you need to be marketing on. So again, the strategy, 2 posts a day, every day, measure it. If you want to do ads. Now, if you don't want to do ads, that's okay. Just keep posting every day. But if you don't want to do ads, what I would recommend doing is the last post of every day, is adding one in the evening that's inspirational. And you don't need to make a call to action or send them to your website. Just inspire them or educate them. Share something interesting and fun to keep them coming back. Okay, so that's it. You would do 3 posts a day if you didn't want to do ads, and you will drive more traffic. Now, of course, it's slower. You won't get 7 or 10 or 40 even a month if you don't do ads. You might get 1 or 2 a week to start, and that would stay that way for a little while, but then the momentum would begin to grow, and then it would grow exponentially. So from 1 to 2, we'll turn to 2 to 4, we'll turn to 4 to 8, we'll turn to 8 to 16, okay? And that's the way the strategy works, is it builds up, and then you'll have different ads working for you over time. Okay, so let's see here. So Michelle's asking me, Carmen, did you say I ran ads for $1 to $2 a day with the ones that perform best? That's correct. And I would limit that to 10 days. Okay, Michelle, 10 days on that ad, because you want your ads or your posts still to be fresh, right? Because freshness counts in Facebook. If it starts to look too old, they back off. Yes, thank you. Thank you. You know, I think these strategies are great. I'm going to go ahead and give myself some hearts and a thumbs up. All right. So, but yeah, and again, if you have any more questions, let them come through, but it doesn't cost a lot. The strategies that we are teaching and using are all just a couple bucks a day. And if you have a well-defined audience, you're able to, what I say, proliferate your market message with that audience. So that's what you need. Okay. So again, if you don't want to boost ads, that's all right. Go for the 3 posts a day. It does work. It's slower, but it works. All right. Okay. So Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing what you're doing now. Know that your contribution to our travel agent community is really appreciated. I know that travel agents need to hear this and what's going on and how to do it, so they know that it's not outside of their reach, it is attainable, and they probably have a lot of what they need to make it happen, right? Let's see. And anybody has any more questions, we are going to begin wrapping up here, and I'm going to ask for Stephanie to share some final words with us. So let's see here. We do have another question. Stephanie, and this question is for you. Is that a similar dollar spend for you, what you did with your quiz? What was your budget for your quiz?
So I want to say that I put it at $5 a day.
Okay. That was $5 a day. It's about $150 a month, which is very reasonable. I mean, yeah. Even if, okay, so the one that paid your planning fee, did that cover the cost of this campaign? So
it more than covered it. And I had like 5 of them pay it in 1 month. So I mean,
it literally is like, you know, and this is kind of what started to happen, right? You start thinking of your planning fees become like your salary, and your commissions are like your fun money almost. It's very weird, but that's what happens as you start to execute and you're collecting fees. So that's amazing, amazing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Stephanie, do you have any parting words for the travel agents who are out there doing what you're doing now, right? Just getting ready to create a life they love. Do you have anything to add before I close?
Yeah, I think the one thing that finally clicked for me was, you know, we create these lead magnets and we're afraid that everybody won't opt in, but we don't want everybody. So when I approached this one from the point that we need to make our wording and our client attraction repel the people who aren't a good fit for us from the beginning, and not worry about, because if I looked at my stats and saw that like X started it and never completed it, like that could, you know, have somebody think they weren't doing something right. And to me, I take it as those are not my ideal clients. So I'm glad they dropped off, because now they're not going through my email follow-up series and, you know, almost taking up space when they're not really interested in the types of trips that I plan. So it's always a thing to keep in mind, is whatever you're putting out there, make sure that it is attracting your ideal clients, but it's also repelling the ones that are not ideal.
Right. And it's okay to qualify them. Like, don't be afraid to ask those
Yeah.
questions. I think one of your questions, because I've taken the quiz, is the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet that's where a lot of people went away, because you weren't playing. Like, you started it where you wanted it to be. And I bet that's what shut people down, is like, oh, how much? Okay, let me back off. But that was perfect, because you're aiming to be of service to a very specific type of traveler, which is important. Beautiful. Well, thank you. I think those are very right words. Thank you for sharing those. And thank you so much for being with us and being so open about the strategies that you're using. We do hope that the information, insights, and inspiration we share here helps you achieve the travel business success you desire. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, if you are ready to align, activate, and take focused action with the travel industry marketing expert who successfully systematized travel business success so you can get more clients with more ease in about 5 hours a week, visit Travel Agent Marketing Success Made Easy, okay, to learn the 5-step program to grow your travel business with your ideal travel clients today. And with that, I say farewell. Thank you for joining me for this Travel Business Success Circle Live. As always, I do hope the information, insights, and inspiration I share helps you create a successful travel business that your life loves. So with that, until next time, work with passion, purpose, and play. Take care of you out there.